All right, readers, let's dive into Johnny's pick this week. Pepsi, PepsiCo. Good morning again from Mexico. I don't think I've ever looked at this chart for Pepsi. As you can see, there's nothing in it, but it's very obviously in a long-term uptrend. So let's see if this laptop will handle some chart drawing. All right, so build this chart, build this chart. Okay. So we're at the monthly level. We obviously have a very long-term uptrend, which really just coincides with the moving averages. So it's been above its moving averages for ages, 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 ages. The last time it touched the 200 or got near it was 2009. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. So it seems to like it's, well, let's see. Yeah, when it dips, it seems to like its 100 moving average more so. So historically, I mean, 20 years, right? It dips a little bit in the 50 here and the 50 in gray, right? 100 in orange. Um, I mean, this is the Great Recession. 100 here, 2011, close 100 there, 50 there, 100 there. So between the 50 and 100 seems to be its long-term support level. So that's when we start to think about the reversion to the mean. That's what we're thinking of. We usually, typically we really like that 200 moving average as that real hard support. But obviously that's going to be a little different for every single chart that you look at, every single, stock or asset you're looking at. This one seems to like that 100 level. So we are at the monthly level. Let's keep in mind. So we have all-time highs. We have had all-time highs. Wow, in 2022. So this year. Um, so let's just put a little. What do we got? What do we got? Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll just put it at 170. 170. Yeah, let's put it there for now. We also have right around here, so about 150. Cool. So here's kind of our playing field, if you will. So in this month, in June, we have retested the 21 moving average here in red on the monthly chart, and we have already bounced off of it for June. This looks like it's going to stay. If it closes above the 8 moving average, then that is going to be generally bullish. That's the 8 moving average in blue there. I'm very much shorter term. I usually just use that for kind of swing indication. But we're sort of in this zone. So the idea is, are we going to break this all-time high? Are we going to bounce around in the zone? I'm not really sure yet. So moving down to the weekly level. Moving down to the weekly level. Okay, this is interesting. So we have this shorter term right here. I want to highlight this because the shorter term swing high here around 160, 159, 160. We broke through it, and you can see we retested it right here with this hammer candle. And we came back down and retested it and kind of slammed through it, but the second candle we slammed back up above it, and that's what's happening again here. So last week we closed below it. This week we're going back up above that level. And interestingly, last week put in what is potentially a higher low compared to that previous here, right? So we have a low here, higher low, higher low. So this is, even if it seems like it might be almost ranging a little bit to the side, we're seeing these slowly made kind of higher lows happening. Which is obviously a bullish indication. So, all right, let's go down to daily. Let's hope that my laptop doesn't completely crash here. All right, so we have a kind of a counter trend line to highlight here. We're just going to put it through like this as an estimation. So this is what we're watching for. What we really want is a break of this level. All right, sorry guys. So what I'm realizing is I'm going to have to set these charts up before I do Streamlabs on this laptop. Usually I like to try to do some of the charts live so people can actually watch it, because I found it helpful to see people build their charts when I was learning. Then some people just have their charts built and they just talk through it. Okay, and we also have this in the daily chart, the daily level chart. We have a channel here, right? So we have one of these standard channels that I've talked about before, and I believe we have hit the bottom. So let's see here. Let's see what the count here is. We have got A, B, C, D, E, F. And as I said previously, usually after that F point, if you know the count is right and you've done things properly, the probability suggests that after that F is that bottom point or the top point, you know, obviously depending on what direction the channel is going. And the next, that leg up after the F is a breakout point. Now, the interesting thing on this one is we are still below moving averages, but like we highlighted in kind of monthly and weekly, we're sort of fighting a little bit of that downtrend. So will it break these moving averages? Will it break this channel support? That's what we're watching for. That's the main thing we want to see. The charts suggest we saw the higher lows, those multiple higher lows. We have this channel, which has just put in the F leg. It suggests that we could easily move up through these moving averages and this channel resistance. Is it going to slam up through? We don't know. Sometimes the movement slams up through and you get that big candle, similar to what we saw actually just on ExxonMobil. If you go back to that breakout of that long-term downtrend, we had a big green candle, if I recall correctly. So that could happen. It could either slam right up through, or it could kind of roll over a little bit, and it could come down and retest this level here, this 160 level, support level. And the interesting thing is, if that does happen, what we get at that point is a inverse head and shoulders. So we have left shoulder, head, and we would have a right shoulder over here. So you would get that inverse head and shoulders before that breakout, and it would still maintain that A, B, C, D, E, F count on the channel. Right, so that's what we want to watch for. So if it does roll over and come back down to do an inverse head and shoulders, you could get a more valuable buy-in around this 160 support level here. And if it slams up through, you don't have to chase it. Remember, we're always expecting a retest. So two things always kind of try to avoid is chasing and catching a falling knife. So, and that's part of what you have to learn when it comes to controlling your emotions when trading. You always want to make an entry on some kind of a pullback, even if it's like a small pullback to one of the shorter term moving averages. Don't chase and don't catch a falling knife. Just be patient, wait for that pullback, because it will happen. So anyway, that's what we're watching for. This could either roll over, give us an inverse head and shoulders, or we get a big green candle that comes slamming up through these moving averages and this channel resistance, bringing us into this new territory up in here, all this new space, and taking us back up to the all-time high around 170, 178, 177, 178, 177.50, etc. What happens there, we don't know yet, right? Because we're still kind of in that a little bit of sideways action. So we could just keep going sideways. Right? So if we break out here, we could just kind of keep bouncing around. We don't really know. There's no indication that we're going to break this resistance and get new highs at the moment. We have to kind of wait and see what happens after what we've just outlined with that downtrend channel on the daily level. Let's take a quick look at Anything interesting in indicators? Okay, so this is this is the scenario we've just outlined. What is the other scenario? The other scenario is that whole thing doesn't play out, it doesn't work out, and it all fails, and we keep rolling over. And if we break back through this level here around 160, right, we're going to roll all the way down to 150. So that's a potential option, right? That's the other option that could happen if what we've just outlined doesn't work. Let's go back to daily real quick. I want to check if there's anything interesting in the indicators. No, nothing made. Oh, well, okay, so our RSI is starting to get above 50, which is usually bullish. So that gives us a little backing that we are potentially going to break through these moving averages and channel resistance. It doesn't tell us how that's going to happen, whether it's going to be the inverse head and shoulders or a big candle. But so there's some backing that this is going to become bullish from this technical structure with that RSI level starting to get above 50 again. Okay, guys, so that is PepsiCo. Give a like, subscribe. Thanks for the support, and we'll talk soon. Peace.